Chapter 3, Invisible. Over lunch, Mila and I shared our troubles and potato chips. Ralphie Jordan hired Solovsky to bust his ghost, Mila told me, chomping on a chip. Kim Lewis and Eddie Becker, too. She started adding up ghosts on her fingers. Then there's Lucy's ghost and the other one you already told me about. Arnie Ellison, I reminded her. He's a first grader, a new kid in town. He was Solovsky's first client. That's 5 ghosts this week, Mila said. I find it hard to believe. There's something fishy going on here. It doesn't take a detective to solve that mystery, I said, taking a long sip from my juice box. Solovsky is behind it, but we need proof. Mila said. Is that a good or a bad I asked. Mila shrugged. It's a wait and see. She replied. We don't know enough yet. We have to figure out a plan. You're right, I agreed, and I know just where to start. My dad always says that every businessman relies on his reputation. If people think you're an expert on aardvarks, they will come to you with their aardvark problems. If people think Solovsky is an expert ghostbuster, they will go to him with their ghost problems. I pulled out my journal. I scribbled a page full of notes. Mostly it was a long list of questions without answers. Mila and I decided to start by talking to Arnie Ellison. There was just one problem. We had no idea who he was. And we weren't the only ones. Arnie Ellison? The kid with the ghost? Helen Zuckerman wrinkled her nose. I don't know what he looks like. Maybe he's invisible. Ha ha! Helen clapped me on the back hard. Get it? Get it? Invisible? Like a ghost? I got it all right. Helen Zuckerman wanted to be the class clown. Too bad she was about as funny as homework. I think he's kind of short, String Bean Noonan told us. And he definitely has hair. Very helpful, String Bean, Mila said, rolling her eyes. That rules out all the first grade boys who are bald. Arnie gave me a cookie once, Joey Pignato recalled fondly. His face glowed at the memory. It was a great cookie. Chocolate chip with caramel clusters, moist but not too chewy. What about Arnie? I reminded him. What did he look like? Oh, Joey shrugged. I can't remember, but if you see him, can you find out if he has any more of those cookies? I sighed. We were getting nowhere. Everyone had heard of Arnie Ellison, and everyone had talked to him at least once or twice, but not a single person in our class could remember what he looked like. Maybe Helen was right. Maybe Arnie was invisible. Mila and I finally tracked him down with the help of my neighbor, Wingnut O'Brien. He directed us to a long table in the cafeteria. Everyone was clustered around one end of it, staring at a skinny boy with eyes like a lizard. The lights started flickering, the boy said, and then all the dishes flew through the air and slammed into the wall. Crash, blam, bang. Then what happened, one of the girls asked, her eyes shining with excitement. Then Bobby pulled out his ghost-busting equipment and we zapped the ghost together, the boy said proudly. It won't be bothering me anymore. Mila and I looked at each other in disbelief. We were both thinking the same thing. We'd found our invisible man, and thanks to his ghost, he wasn't so invisible anymore. Excuse me, I said politely. My name is Jigsaw Jones. This is Mila Yeh. Do you mind if we ask you a few questions? Arnie folded his hands behind his head. He leaned back and grinned. Ask away. Before I could speak, I felt a hand squeeze on my shoulder. Why are you bothering my client, Theodore? Bobby Solovsky's voice scraped against my ears like chalk on a blackboard. He was really getting on my nerves. It's okay, Bobby, Arnie quickly said. When I saw the look on his face, I almost hurled. Arnie's eyes were shining. His cheeks were glowing. He was smiling up at Solovsky like he was a hero. Go figure. Stay away from my clients, Bobby growled. If you've got questions about my business, just ask me. Or better yet, I'm busting Kim's ghost after school today. Come along and watch, unless you're too chicken. We'll be there, I said gladly. It sounded too good to be true. We would watch Solovsky do his Ghostbuster routine, and then